What's up, dudes? So I'm back with another video. Now, Download is fast approaching, and I'm sure, like me, a lot of you are looking at the lineup, down the lineup, to say, hey, who should I be seeing at this year's Download Festival? Now, I'm going to give you guys some of the bands that I'm looking forward to, some bands that I've discovered doing research for this, for the Dear Download podcast, and just sharing my general thoughts on them and if you should see them or not. If I don't include someone that you think I should watch in the list I'm going to give today, then let me know in the comments. I would love to obviously see what you guys think or any other bands that you are looking forward to. But yeah, there is loads on this year. I know there's been a lot of big sort of stigma around this year's lineup. People saying it's a weak Download lineup, you know, the headliners aren't great, all sorts of stuff. I mean, you know, every year of Download isn't going to be for everyone necessarily. I think this is a very strong lineup. I actually think it's stronger than last year's lineup when you look across the whole, 3 days as a whole, all stages. So yeah, loads to unpack, loads of good bands to talk about. Let's do this. Starting with the Dogtooth stage on the Friday, I did discover this band doing research for the festival. They're called Windhand. It's really doom metal-ish, but more on the kind of dreamy side of it, almost a shoegaze element to it. You know, it also has that sort of, old school sort of doom vibe, but much prettier than that. It has, low guitars, fuzz, everything you'd expect from that sort of doom metal, but quite a dreamy version of that. So I loved these guys instantly. As soon as I started listening, I thought, yes, this is awesome. I think this will be a great way to sort of kick off the early part of Friday and sort of ease yourself into Download Festival. So I will definitely be on the Dogtooth, just standing there with my eyes closed, rocking back and forth and just like in dreamland basically with them. So yeah, Windhand on the Friday, definitely go and check them out. On the Dogtooth as well on Friday, not long after Windhand have played, is a band called Vola. Now, I have been a Vola fan since I'd say 2018-ish, around that time, and I am so psyched this will be the first time I'm actually going to see the band. They are electronic stuff fused with metal, but on the sort of proggier side. Some of the stuff is quite complex on the guitars. They have really, really huge electronic soundscapes. The difference with this band is some of the stuff really sounds like it should have screaming over it, but the singer mostly sings. There's very minimal screaming, which I think sort of sets them apart from everyone else, because they have the filthy breakdowns, they have all the sort of techie guitars with the massive sort of electronic soundscapes like I just mentioned, but it also has a different sort of vibe. His voice is very different to anything I've heard in this genre. So when I first started listening to them, that's what drew me in straight away. I thought, wow, this guy's voice is amazing. Also, they're Swedish, so for Adam Cox, who does the Dear Download podcast with me, he should automatically love them straight away. But this band are fantastic on record. Applause of a Distant Crowd is probably my favourite album from these guys, although I do think that their latest album is fantastic as well. So yeah, go and check them out if you like any sort of that tech metal or prog stuff. I guarantee you will want to see them. Straight after Vola, so we'll be remaining on this stage for quite a lot of Friday, is a band called Alcest. Now these guys are metal, sort of shoegaze, almost going into black gaze territory sometimes, but without the screaming. There are some really beautiful dreamy bands on this Dogtooth stage. Again, these guys, similar to Vola, they have a fantastic vocalist who really sort of captures the sound, almost like a shoegaze band. They have loads of reverb on the vocals to make the vocals sound huge, but they do get quite metally at times as well. So it's definitely gonna, I think if you're a fan of anything progressive in the world of metal, you might like these guys, especially if you like stuff that's on the more shoegaze side of things. Another band that I've never seen before. I haven't liked them for quite a while now. So again, I'm going to get to see Vola and these guys straight afterwards, which should be an absolute treat. So yeah, if any of that stuff sounds like it takes your fancy, I think these guys are going to be fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Okay, moving to the Avalanche stage on the Friday, and quite high up actually, I think they're third from the top, is a band called Crossfaith, metal from Japan. These guys are absolutely an insane live band. They are fantastic on record as well. difficult to explain kind of what they are. They have so many little nuances of like European metal, but with that kind of Japanese edge, just the way that they do things. Really great screaming, really great riffs. Their music's so well produced as well, so I recommend you going to check them out. I mean, a lot of their top tracks are great. Some of you might have heard their cover of Omen by Prodigy, which I'm sure they will play, and it will drive everyone, obviously us being British, absolutely insane. These guys were part of one of my favourite gigs I've ever been to. In 2016 in Bristol, I saw Head PE, who are one of my favourite bands. So it was Head PE, then Crossfaith, and then Skindred at the Bristol O2. My God, that gig was absolutely insane. And these guys were a massive part of it. I've never seen them at Download, but their 2014 set at Download is pretty legendary. There are clips of it on YouTube, I believe. So I think Monolith, their song, is actually on YouTube, and it's insane. So they have played Download quite a number of times. They're a band that I always don't miss when they're playing. They were supposed to be on 2000 Trees a couple of years ago, but they had to cancel, so that sucked. I would have loved to have seen them at a small little festival like that. But anyway, I'm babbling. They're a great band. If you love metal, or if you love anything sort of Japanese-esque, these guys will definitely hit the spot, and yeah, I'll be there to go mental. On the Opus stage on the Friday, opening the stage, so I am literally going to have to get in there early, it is a band called The Scratch. Now, these guys are a 4-piece folk metal band. They have a lot of they're from Ireland, so obviously they have a lot of sort of Irish inspired noodlings to their music, shall we say, in the riffs and just in their general vibe. And of course they do have Irish accents as well. These guys are probably one of the most fun bands I have ever seen in my life. After seeing them at Download 2022, my friend Harry said, hey, come and see this band called The Scratch. I was absolutely blown away by them. I thought they were like nothing I've heard before. They were absolutely brilliant. Sometimes they sound like a folk metal band. Sometimes they sound like Fear Factory, which is a really weird thing to say, but there's no separation. It kind of just goes from like folky fun music into sort of heavy metal stuff. And they do loads of just weird little covers. They play some Metallica bits occasionally as well. But definitely one of the most entertaining bands I've ever seen. One of the best bands I've ever seen at 2000 Trees on the Forest stage. That was insane. Putting them on such a big stage like the Opus stage, I think people forget how big the second stage is. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I think that the sort of music that they play and the vibe they have might work better on a smaller stage, but I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope that these guys blow everyone away. Of course, it's early in the day, so you will have to get in as soon as the arena opens to see them. I will be in the queue ready to see these guys because I don't want to miss a note because they are just so much fun. So if any of that tickles your fancy, hopefully I'll see you very early on the Opus stage. Now we move to the main stage. Now, a band that I have loved for a very long time on the main stage, CKY. Now, if you're not familiar with these guys, it's sort of like bluesy rock, verging on metal at some points. Absolutely fantastic vocals. Of course, they are linked to the CKY old school videos with Bam Margera, and they're linked through all the Jackass crew and all that sort of stuff. So this band was massive in the 2000s. They did release an album in 2017, The Phoenix, which I think was excellent as well. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen some stuff in the news. I think it was end of last year about the singer punching the singer from Alien Ant Farm and all sorts of stuff. CKY have a very tumultuous past, shall we say, a very volatile past. So I have heard hit or miss things about them live. I've never seen them live, which is actually crazy that I've been a fan this long. I think I've been to festivals when they've played, but I just haven't gone to see them, or I haven't just had a chance to see them. So I'm excited about it, but I'm also worried because I'm worried I might be massively disappointed. So if there's anyone in watching this video that wants to tell me in the comments if CKY, are very good live, then we'll see. So I will watch them if I can squeeze them in the day. Obviously, I haven't got all of the times yet to see if I can fit in all this stuff on the Friday. Hopefully I can, as they're quite spaced out. But yeah, I would still love to watch CKY. Infiltrate, Rebuild, Destroy is easily one of my favourite albums of all time. So I'd love to hear some of those tracks live. So yeah, I'll check them out. And the main support on the main stage for our headliner is going to be Weezer. Now, I have liked a lot of Weezer tracks over the years. In fact, when I looked back through the discography, I thought, oh my God, I actually know a hell of a lot of this stuff. You know, I have songs on playlists and stuff. You know, I don't religiously obviously listen to them, but I forgot how many great songs they've got, and they're always a band that's intrigued me. I think they're a lot of fun. I don't think they take themselves too seriously, and I like bands like that, so I've wanted to tick them off my list for a long time, as well as the headliner, which we'll get to. But yeah, I will be enjoying myself, you know, watching Weezer. Hopefully, I've just got this image in my head of it being really nice weather watching Weezer, and then obviously, of course, into the headliner. So hopefully that comes true. But, you know, I just want to stand there, have some drinks, and just enjoy what Weezer have to offer. And yeah, then I can go, awesome, I've seen them. And hopefully they're good. I've never heard anything about them live. I've never even seen a video of them online live. So probably not going to spoil it for myself before. I'm just going to say, hey, let's see what Weezer are like, and you know, maybe get a surprise of them being good. I don't know. But yeah, bangers for days, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. And yeah, their main support for our headliner. Now, if you've probably noticed, I am wearing this incredible Dear Download times Broken Day t-shirt. Now, if you want one of these shirts, they are available now. I advise you to get your orders in now if you want one for Download Festival. I literally got this in the post today from the guys, and it is just an amazing design and a take on the Download dog and possibly his demise. So if you want one of these, links in the description, go and grab them from Broken Day and have a look at all the other stuff they've got, because the designs are insane. And of course, our headliner on the Friday, Greenday. Now, if you haven't seen it, I've done a whole video on Greenday, their history, albums that I've liked and all that, so go back and check that out on the videos on the channel. But yes, I am so excited to see Greenday. Somehow this band has passed me by, even though I've been a fan for 20 years plus. They've just evaded me somehow. Obviously, back in the day, they played Reading and Leeds a lot and didn't play festivals like Download or your more metal festivals. I think Download has tried to get them a few times, but the timing, money and all sorts of stuff just hasn't been right. So it's been a long time coming. As I've said in the other video, you know, it's probably 5 years too late, maybe, of them headlining. Maybe there would have been a bigger buzz for it, you know, 5-6 years ago. Although there is a big buzz for it, but I think Sleep Token and Korn have kind of stolen the headlines of this one. So Green Day aren't standing out as much as those two. But yeah, can't wait. I'm very, very excited. They've got bangers for days. I'm sure some of you are aware of how many great songs they have. Even people I know that don't like Green Day have been like, that's a good song, that's a good song, that's a good song. So yeah, I recommend just going to check out their hits, really. They're pretty much going to play a best of set, from what I understand, with some of the new album Saviours mixed in there as well, which I really liked, by the way. I really dug the new album. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, I can't wait to just stand there on the Friday and just watch Green Day finally. From what I've seen, they look fantastic live. You know, they don't look like they've missed a step, really, even after all this time. So yeah, can't wait to just beer in hand, sing along to all the songs and just having a party. And like I said, I'm praying for good weather, because I just have a great vibe in my head of just standing there watching Green Day, you know, a little bit tipsy, singing all the songs and just having a great end to Friday. So yeah, that's Friday. Let's move on to Saturday. So on the Dogtooth stage on the Saturday, the first band I'm interested in seeing is a band called Zetra. Now these guys are a two-piece, so I'm not sure how that's going to work live if they have the rest of the band. But because these guys are sort of synthwave, goth, infused with metal, I have a feeling that they'll have sort of backing tracks and other stuff, and then the two of them will play instruments and obviously do the vocals. But I really like this sort of stuff. You know, it sort of has those 80s nuances of, you know, Gary Newman and all of that old sort of 80s retro wave and synthwave stuff. So yeah, just the sort of stuff that I like. You know, as you can tell, I like dreamy stuff. So it's, you know, real dreamy, real nice sounding, pretty easy to listen to. So if any of that takes your fancy, definitely check them out. But I've never seen them before, and I discovered them doing research for the Dear Download podcast. So yeah, discovered a new band that I really like, and I'm definitely going to check them out. Also on the Dogtooth stage is Anau Nathrak. Now, weird sounding name, absolutely insane sounding band. Another band that unfortunately I've only just discovered, even though I found out they'd been around making albums since 2001, which is depressing that I haven't discovered them sooner. Just insanely extreme progressive metal. There's some black metal in there. There's some doom metal in there. I mean, these guys are a mix of everything. I have never heard such mental vocals in all of my life. I said on the Dear Download podcast that this reminded me of something that Devin Townsend would do, where he just takes everything to the extremes of where it can go, and that's exactly what these guys do. They switch from the most disgusting vocal, double pedal driven stuff into, pretty sweet vocals, like clean vocals. It's hard to explain them, you have to listen, but I think when you do, for those that can take it, because it's a lot at first, I would say, but I was just like, whoa, what the hell is this? I need to listen to more, and now I really like them. Their choruses are getting stuck in my head for days, and I'm just singing them to myself. In fact, after this video, I'm gonna have to listen to them to get my daily fix of this band. So yeah, quite depressing I didn't discover them sooner, because I probably could have seen them, back in the day or since, but luckily I have now, which is amazing. I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that are fans and have been for quite a while, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to how this sounds live, and if it can sound as extreme and as just insane as it does on record. So yeah, Anil Nathrak, I am 100% checking these guys out. Moving on to the Avalanche stage on the Friday. Now, a band that I have been into probably since about 2021. They got recommended to me because I was listening to loads of Teenage Wrist, and these guys would just come on after every time I listened to the album. It's Split Chain. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard that name, as these guys have grown considerably. Like, when I was first listening to them, they had around 35 to 40,000 monthly listeners, which is still great, but now they've bumped all the way up to like 200,000 monthly listeners, which is fantastic for them. But they have been knocking it out the park. They've got some massive songs that have been pretty much everywhere. Sound wise, they're kind of like Deftones-y. They have a bit of new metal influence to them. They have a bit of sort of that metal, little bit of alternative, just a dash of all that stuff makes Split Chain up. It's quite hard to sort of pigeonhole them into one of those or sort of all of those, if that makes sense. But an absolutely fantastic band. If you want just a band with a really good vibe, and just something that just makes your head bop, these guys have it. Also, again, like a lot of the bands in this will be my first time seeing them, so super excited to see what they're like live. Hopefully they live up to the hype, because on record they are fantastic. Okay, over to the Opus stage. Now, the legends that are The Darkness. Now, I haven't seen these guys for a very long time. I have enjoyed a lot of their albums since. I think their new album is absolutely fantastic. I've been listening to it a hell of a lot. They are just a absolute fun band, just brilliant live. Of course, that 70s sort of Queen style rock stuff, all of that 70s, early 80s, contemporary, classic rock stuff. My God, these guys are so much fun. They have so many great songs. I'm sure all of you guys know all of the massive, massive hits like Growing On Me, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and all that stuff. But they are always a hoot live. I've missed them the last couple of times they played Download. So this time I'm like, right, not missing The Darkness, because they are going to be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, really looking forward to these guys. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Hopefully I'll see you there for a couple of beers and we can have a little sing-song. Opening the Apex stage, our main stage, of course, is Static Dress. Now, I have been a big supporter of these guys for a very long time. If you don't know what they sound like, they're kind of post-hardcore, screamo with those emo influences. Think Glassjaw meets Funeral for a Friend, meets From Autumn to Ashes, just a modernised version of those bands. That's what I get from it anyway. These guys are a tour de force live. I've seen them at Trees, I've seen them at Download, I've seen them at Slam Dunk. I think I've seen these guys at almost every festival I've been to. These guys are absolutely incredible live. What a way this will be to open the main stage and to open the festival on the Saturday. It's going to be so sick. If I'm not too hungover from Friday, I will be there in the morning to see Static Dress. Right after, on the Apex stage, are Loathe, another band similarly to Static Dress that I've been a big supporter of for a long time. Absolutely love them. We'll try and check them out whenever I can. It's great that they're one after the other. There is a good run of bands on this stage. I might be spending a lot of time on the main stage on the Saturday. These guys are fantastic. Think sort of modern, down-tuned metal meets the shoegaze bit of Deftones sound. I say Deftones a lot, but bands just seem to rip off Deftones. Like, no other band in the last like 5 years. Everyone's just gone, yeah, let's just kind of sound like Deftones. So God knows how Deftones feel about everyone sounding like Deftones. But anyway, these guys do sound a lot like Deftones sometimes. But yeah, brilliant band, absolutely fantastic live. Saw them last year support Korn in Gunnersbury Park, and once again they were amazing. You know, like I said, really heavy when they need to be, really dreamy when they need to be. None of it outstays its welcome. It was all gelled perfectly. That album, I Let It In and It Took Everything, I think is a 10 out of 10 album. It's absolutely insane, and we just got a new track the other day as well, so that's great. But yeah, definitely someone I'll be checking out. I'm sure a lot of you guys will as well. So yeah, Loathe, good stuff. And right after Loathe, so it's Static Dress, Loathe, and then Hatebreed. You know, an absolutely insanely good hardcore metal band. I wouldn't call them a hardcore band, and I wouldn't call them a metal band. I would call them a hardcore metal band. It is metal, but with those flavours of hardcore as well, you know, like the beatdowns, the really positive messaging throughout the songs. I mean, these guys are just classic. You know, I have been watching these guys since the early 2000s. I don't think they've lost a step at all, and I do think that, especially album wise, they've been really consistent. I watched them at last year's Bloodstock. My god, they tore that place apart. Of course, it's just been announced the Killswitch Engage tour with Hatebreed as main support as well, so I'm gonna have to get tickets for that because I absolutely adore Killswitch and I absolutely love Hatebreed. So yeah, I'm just all pumped up to see these guys again. Even, you know, less than a year after seeing them last, I am so up for them destroying it. Obviously, to destroy the main stage, you have to do quite a job, but I don't think these guys are short of doing that at all. So if you like your metal, you know, you like your gang vocals, your positive energy, you know, we're all in this together, let's just rock out and mosh. These are the guys for you. They are absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's a great run of bands. Static Dress into Loathe into Hatebreed. Awesome. And our Saturday headliner, of course, is Sleep Token. Now, if you want to know my thoughts on Sleep Token in their entirety, I did a whole video about it. So just like Greenday, go and check that one out on the video list. But yeah, people are saying this band, it's, you know, controversial, they're headlining. I mean, not really. You know, Download are just striking while the iron is hot, which they have done with other bands in the past. They should have done that more often, if I'm honest, and sort of captured lightning in a bottle for some of these bands, which automatically pushes them up to headline status. So I think it's great that they are headlining. I love this band. I think they are fantastic. I can understand why people would say, not necessarily that they're not big enough to be headliners, because they definitely are. But, you know, their style of music is very different to anything that has been headliner before. So I can see why the gatekeepers are going, well, you know, it's not metal. I mean, you know, what is metal at Download these days? It's a very grey line of what can play. So I don't have any problem with them playing. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I've been watching them now since Download 2018, which is insane. You know, I watched them play to a half-empty tent then, and just as I said in my Sleep Token video, if you'd have told me, you know, in 6 years' time, 7 years' time, these guys were be headlining the festival, I would have said that you were crazy. So yeah, really great to see that a band come up, get huge. They're really popular at the moment. I don't know how busy that day is going to be. Hopefully very busy, or it might just be loads of Sleep Token fans chanting worship at random people. I don't know, but I am really looking forward to it. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. I'm sure some of you are just intrigued as to what is going to happen. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Can't wait. Okay, on the Opus stage on the Sunday, we have the biggest deathcore band, I would say, over the world at the moment. It's Lorna Shore. Now, no one can deny how good these guys are at what they do. Of course, you know, Will Ramos's vocals are just insane. I know there are a lot of vocalists in the sort of deathcore region doing the same sort of things, but no one could deny his quality of vocals. And the band, as I said before, they're all 10 out of 10 musicians. It's sometimes too ridiculous almost when I'm listening to it, but they are absolutely killer live. They played in 2023 on the main stage. I think everyone will remember those huge dust clouds that were coming out of the pits. Some great memories. That was just amazing. So this high up on the second stage will be raucous. I mean, it really will be insane. The only problem with this is I think that there's going to be some clashing times with another band on the main stage that I want to see that might be playing around the same time. So let's get to those. And sub-headlining the Apex stage on the Sunday, we have the British metal legends Bullet for My Valentine. Now, these guys haven't played Download since 2018, so they haven't been back for a long time. So I think people are really going to be wanting to see Bullet for My Valentine, especially in this kind of slot. They'll have a lot of time. They might even have some pyro, little bits of the stage, obviously, before the headliner come on. So it's going to be exciting. You know, a band that I have loved since the first album, well, since the EP before the first album. So I am a big Bullet for My Valentine fanboy. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose, but I'll admit it right now. I love these guys. They were always fantastic live. They just get better and better and better every time I see them. So I'm really excited for everyone else to see them this high up. Of course, you know, people that haven't been to Download, you know, since 2018 or after that up to this point, oh God, you're going to be blown away. You know, we all know they have bangers for days. And like I said, they just blow you away live. So yeah, really excited to see Bullet. Kind of worried they might clash a little bit with Lorna Shore though. So I personally would see Bullet over Lorna Shore. I know a lot of people would do that the other way. But if I have to miss a little bit of Lorna Shore to see Bullet for My Valentine, then that's what I'll do. And closing Download Festival 2025, headlining the Sunday, it is the long-awaited headline set from the legends that are Korn, of course. So a lot like Greenday, we've been waiting a long time for this one. It's been a long time coming. People have been saying for years, why aren't Korn headlining? Finally, we got them. It was awesome to see when they announced the lineup. I can't wait. I've done a whole video on these guys as well as the Green Day and Sleep Token, so go back and check that out. I literally do every single album and rate them all. So if you are a big Korn fan or you want to know more about that band, go and check it out because I do a lot in that video. I love these guys. I have for a very long time. Their set lists are always fantastic, absolutely full of bangers. They normally sort of pull out a few wild cards as well and things you're not expecting. So yeah, I'm just expecting an immense set from Korn. Saw them headlining Gunnersbury last year and just thought these guys are, they've been ready for a long time, but this sort of just, you know now, these guys are ready to blow the lid off of Download. And I can't wait for the crowd to be going absolutely nuts, especially the new generation of Korn fans. You know, these guys speak to everyone. So all the Korn fans that have come along in, you know, the last 5 to 10 years, I'm sure you guys are going to absolutely dig it, with all of us sort of older school fans as well, just with big smiles on our faces singing along, just you know, finally happy that Korn have headlined Download. Yes, like, do you know what I mean? Now we just need Limp Bizkit to headline and we're going the new metal way that we should go now on. But anyway, I digress. Great way to end the festival. I cannot wait. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Like I said, hopefully it's good weather this year. I've heard a rumour, don't quote me on this, but I do watch a lot of weird weather channels on YouTube. And I've heard some rumours that apparently June is going to be quite nice. So I don't know what part of that, hopefully the early bit. But yeah, either way I'll have fun, but it's always better at downloading it when the weather's nice. It's just the way it is. So yes, there you go. Those are all the bands I'm looking forward to. Please tell me in the comments, of course, bands that you're looking forward to, any bands that I've missed. Like I said, I discovered a lot of bands that I really like doing research. So I do suggest that if you have time, you go through and listen to loads of bands as well. You know, if you say, oh, I think I've heard of those guys, just listen to them, check them out. You know, there's no harm in it. You can say, okay, I don't like that. Or you might discover your new favourite band. So, yeah, it's happened to me a lot over the years, and it's a fantastic way to actually do it. Thank you very much to my patrons who are on the screen. I love you guys. Thank you very much for support. I always appreciate it. If you want to come and support me on Patreon, the link is in the description, and you get loads of cool stuff over there that you don't get on YouTube. For everyone else, again, thank you very much for all the subscribes, all of the watches, you know, all of the thumbs up, just everything you guys do. It's just amazing how many people watch this channel and dig the content. So thank you. If you're not digging the content, tell me, but if you are, that would be great too. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you dudes in the next video. You should go and subscribe to my channel, just because. Come on, subscribe.